We're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured bear on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Now they try the right side here. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. He'll look to throw. Leaping, and he makes the grab. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Here comes the Bears punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Coleman. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
From the gun on 3rd down. Coleman firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves?
And it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. To throw on 2nd down, Coleman. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
The gun. They'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. And Parkey's kick is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll run it here. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Coleman, pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Khalil Mack in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
To throw on 3rd down. Coleman escaping the pressure right. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Jarrad Davis coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11. They'll look to throw here. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Fielded at about the 28. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Lions will take over. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Now a handoff working right. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Wide open receiver complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Coleman. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or 2 shy of midfield.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this is going to be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And that's now the 2nd time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively. And you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
Lucky 56.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Lucky 56.
Off play action. Coleman. Trying to lay one up deep. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Gone.
On 3rd down, Coleman. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time, one-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll get it to the 23-yard line. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at 3rd and the nose of the football.
Hurry up, here we go.
They're going to look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And Parkey's kick is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And he's able to get it up close to the 35, but hang on here. Penalty marker down. And this one might be going the other way. First down. Coleman flushed out right. Now he's going to let it go deep right side. And got his man complete. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Detroit! Detroit! Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
A final shot before break. Coleman. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Now let's go.
Now they try the right side here. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Now let's go. Blue, line it.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Coleman. Over the middle, complete. That's Santos. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big 30-yard play on 3rd. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves him with 3rd and just a couple.
Nice job there defensively on 3rd down. Not only did they string the play out, but they didn't allow any room for a cutback. Really well organized on the defensive side.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Pulled in at the 24. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A gain of 4 on the play, and they're going to have a third down. Looking to throw. Coleman. Wide open receiver, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a gain of 17, and it'll give them a first down. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
He lost 4 there, and it's third down. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. The Lions on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is third down and 12.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. Hot.
Operating from the gun. Coleman. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion. From the gun, Coleman. They shakes it off. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be a second down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. The Lions on third down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Coleman. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And now if they convert the extra point, the Lions will have the lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will This is taken about 7 yards deep. He's going to be stopped here with a penalty marker on the field. I'm not sure what this is about. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! All right, here we go.
Looking to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe he didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down.
No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. You talk about a big kick under pressure in the fourth quarter. I mean, that wasn't like a 33-yarder. That was long distance.
Not only does it show the faith that they have in him, but also remember, if they'd missed that one, they're giving up the ball near midfield, so they had to be very confident that he was going to put that one through the post.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
To throw on 2nd down. Coleman. And quick throw here. That's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
From the gun on 3rd down. Coleman, flush to his right. Throw right side here, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, a 22. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Coleman. Escaping the pressure right. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
He'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Over.
They'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Black, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
And they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
He's back to throw. And that's incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. As they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. And they'll run it here. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 8 there, and that should be enough to seal the victory. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football.